What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another live review. I promised a live review today, and I'm delivering. I'm just going to give people a little bit of time to kind of grab the live stream and pop on in so I can interact with some people. I hope everyone enjoyed my... Let me move some people over here because there's people off camera here. There we go. I think everybody's in here. Let's scoot everybody together. There we go. It looks a little bit better. Wolverine's hogging the spotlight, as usual. Dick. But I hope you guys enjoyed my my tribute to Cobra Convergence 3 yesterday. If you didn't check that out, please go back and check that out if you want to. I did my review. It was kind of a combo review. I wanted to do, because I'm more of a modern collector, but a vintage vehicle collector. I wanted to throw in a little bit taste of both, so I did a review on the 1990 release of the Cobra Piranha boat and the 25th anniversary Cobra Eel. So be sure to check that out. That was my submission to Cobra Convergence 3. And here we are talking about, but today we are talking about, what's up, Zorpox? How you doing? I'm going to try and pay attention to the comments as much as possible. Your guys, what happens is, with this comment section, I'm doing it on my iPad really quick. Your comments pop up for, I want to say, maybe about 5 to 6 seconds, and then they kind of go away, and I can't see them anymore. So I'll try to pay attention as much as possible here. Let me get all the body parts over here. I put all the body parts in front of the characters that they came with. So the right arm came with Magneto, the right leg came with Multiple Man, the torso came with Storm, the tubes or tentacles. Cobra, la 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 la. That's right, Strawberry Fields. The tubes came with Wolverine, the left leg came with Psylocke over there, the head came with Gladiator, and the left arm came with, I know my arm was in the way, sorry. The left arm came with the Sabretooth there. So there you go with that. I just kind of wanted to give you guys all an overview of what the whole wave is about. We got 7 figures in this wave, and if that doesn't tell you that the X-Men sell, I don't ever want to hear from anyone or Hasbro that the X-Men simply do not sell, because the X-Men do sell. Hence why there's been waves of X-Men now. So I want to hear the excuse. And on top of that, pretty much the majority of the X-Men waves have all been comic themed, which is another 2 thumbs up from my perspective, because we're getting more and more 90s characters as far as that goes. So I do have all the accessories out. I have all of the body parts. We're going to do the Build-A-Figure last, so let's get Apocalypse out of here. And we'll put him together later. Oh, God. We'll put him over there. He's in timeout for now. Okay. So, first one we'll do is, well, you know what? We'll go from my least favorite to my favorite in this review. So let's get him out of here, and we'll get him out of here, and we'll get her out of here, and we'll get him out of here, and we'll get him out of here, and we'll get her out of here. Yeah, that's right. We're going to start with my least favorite of the bunch here. And let me get all of his accessories here. Oh, God, I'm dropping stuff all over the place. There's his extra head, which I think is actually a really nice touch. And then we've got these new effects that we've been getting with a few figures in this wave, and or a couple, I should just say, to another figure in this wave. And he came with some extra hands too, so that's actually not that bad of a touch for Magneto. Getting quite a bit of accessories to come with, as far as, and also coming with the of the Build-A-Figure piece as well. So we're getting a little bit more with our figures now than we were, I'd say, a few years ago, where it was just basically you get a figure, maybe one accessory, one extra head, and then the Build-A-Figure piece, or sometimes just a figure and then the Build-A-Figure piece. So we're starting to get a little bit more. You can tell that Marvel Legends are starting to make more and more money as the popularity grows more and more. And you can also attribute a lot to Marvel Legends' success to the movies. The movie figures and the movies help out tremendously. So the better the movies do and the better the movie figures sell, the more we get waves like this for our comic book figures as well. So it all goes hand in hand together. It's a big symbolic thing. It's a circle of life, a circle of toys. Anyway, here we have his effects here, which are pretty much the same ones that Storm came with. And I actually don't mind these. They are like a more of a translucent purple, which I actually don't mind. I think it's pretty appealing, and these can grasp around his hand pretty easily, which is a nice little touch as well. Seeing these are kind of like almost look like electricity effects, but you could also use these for his magnetism or magnetic fields as far as what he goes with. You know it'd be really cool. I know this would be ridiculous, but I've always had the thought it would be really cool to give him like some sort of translucent bubble. I don't know why. I mean, even if you included like these hands with him, but they didn't obviously paint them or have them translucent in this color. If they just had them regular like black, or if they had them, they re-released the 90s Magneto that they need to redo. I think it'd be really cool to include these hands as interchangeable hands, and then he can have his arms kind of out like this. If I can get his arms out, there we go. With his hands out, and then have him in the bubble. Oh my god, that would be so cool. So this is, I want to say, I think this is the Marvel Now. I don't know. I haven't been reading too many modern Marvel comics lately. My focus has been not so much on comics lately. I'm going to be honest with you guys, which is unfortunate. I've actually been reading a lot of my older comics more than my current ones. Marvel Now is the white and gold and beautiful. Oh, that's right. He is wearing the white. Doesn't he? Isn't he sleeveless in that too? I think he's like white and black, and he's sleeveless. Or is that the early Marvel Now stuff? Let me know. Well, or maybe was this after AVX? He wore this. I don't know. Refresh my memory here. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I like that. I like that look for him too. Yeah, he's like ripped. Magneto's always been kind of like a ripped, big dude. So, pretty cool. But you know what? As much as people want to beat this up, and maybe I probably should have had Gladiator in this spot over Magneto, I actually don't think that this is a atrocious figure. I think the helmeted head sculpt looks pretty damn good with the all white eyes. I don't think it's as bad as people are saying. It's just, I think a lot of people are getting caught up in the this is not what I wanted syndrome. They're having that sort of syndrome. This isn't what I wanted. I wanted 90s X-Men or traditional costume Magneto. Instead, we got this. And I think a lot of you are getting caught up in that and not the fact that this is obviously, it's better than this Magneto. He has no head right now, but you'll see in a second. It's better than this overall as a figure. I mean, this figure's terrible, to be honest with you, head and toe. This has better range of motion, better articulation. Sure, it's not the costume we all wanted, but I don't necessarily would sit here and say it's a horrible figure. I've seen way worse. But like I said, a lot of people got caught up in the fact that this is not the Magneto that they wanted, and not the fact that it's necessarily a bad figure. I heard a lot of complaints also about the cape floating and this whole chest piece floating, and that's nothing new that we haven't seen with this Magneto. Sorry, with no head. But I'm going to get to why he has no head in a second. It's no different, and I glued mine. So just, I don't know, that it's really simple. You know, you can go to your local hardware store and buy some Loctite, some super glue, and put two little dots on his underneath his cape here, and press it down to his chest, and he will sit. It will sit nice and tight on there and not move around, so you don't have that problem. Also, another remedy is to glue the peg into his back. I haven't done it yet, but when I get around to doing it, I will. So there's that. The other complaint, the final complaint that I heard about this guy is that, and there's probably more complaints from other people, but the final complaint, what's up, Lumpy? How you doing, buddy? The final complaint I heard about this guy is that this simply there's nothing to, there's nothing really to display him with besides that Cyclops that came out with the X on his head. And that I totally get. I mean, I guess they wanted a little bit more variety for the wave. That's just my guess. They didn't want to do all 90s, which I wouldn't have had a problem with, and I'm sure the majority of all of you wouldn't have had a problem with them giving us all 90s X-Men. But, excuse me. But even Storm is not a 90s X-Men. She is the, I want to say, 70s, 80s X-Men when she took over leadership of the X-Men. I'm doing well. I'm just enjoying doing this live review. Hope you guys are enjoying it as well. But to get to his accessories, you simply pop off his hands here. These, I'm pretty sure that these can pop off. So you can take his gauntlet off if you want to. And then we just pop these hands on. And you know what? I did hear, I wouldn't say that people were complaining about these hands, but people were like, oh, I don't know if I really like these hands necessarily. But you know what? Would you rather not get extra stuff with your figure? Because I know I would like extra stuff with my figure. And I think it's a nice little touch. It makes sense as far as what they were going for the figure, to be honest with you. Because then you have these effects that can go, if I can get these on his hand. Hold on a minute. It is hot up in here today. Let me tell you. It's like, it's not hot, it's just muggy in the old Buffalo today. It's been kind of like raining the last couple days, so it's kind of a letdown here. But I know this isn't the best pose. I'm trying to hurry up here because I know I'm doing a live review, so you guys aren't staring at the friggin' wall there. But there you go. That's the best I could do here. Good to hear. From what I've seen, wave looks pretty damn good. So I'm really, yeah. The wave is pretty damn good. I have to say, I'm enjoying it. I would definitely recommend you pick this wave up. I think it's one of, if not one of the best X-Men waves I've seen in a long time. I didn't see the rest of that comment. I saw something about Mattel. I didn't see it. I'm sorry about that. But here we have Magneto, and with the hands in and the effects out, I think it makes perfect sense. I mean, it looks really good. So there are the effects, and obviously you can put them on better than I did, but I'm kind of working around my camera right now. On top of that, I'm trying to look and see if there's comments, so I don't want anyone to think I'm ignoring them or something like that. Here is the unmasked head, and wow, if that isn't 90s, I don't know what is. WWE Elite figures will come with swappable hands. Yeah, I did see that. And what was it? Me and Soul Drum have been saying that for years now, a few years. We need some extra hands, and now we're getting them. And now hopefully we get some double jointed elbows with our wrestling figures too. Okay, so here's Magneto with his unmasked head. The hedge is the hedge. The head is a little bit on the large side. I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't really feel like it fits this body. So I think we all know what this head was intended for. So let's just go ahead and do that right now, right? We all know that this head was intended for this body, which I hope they redo, for the love of God, for the love of Pete's sake. Please redo this. Please, Hasbro. Do us all a favor and redo this dang gone figure, please, because it is just like, doesn't want to stand properly. It just don't like it. Didn't like it when I got it. Don't like it now. For the love of puppies. God knows I love puppies. Who doesn't love puppies? I don't. If you don't love puppies, then I don't know what to tell you. You're a lost cause. Who doesn't love innocent animals? But there you go. There's a little comparison. And I mean, like I said, if I can find my damn pointer. Pointer, where did you go? There you are, pointer. It's hiding behind Gladiator here. As you can see here, this head was definitely meant for this body. If this body was taller and didn't have crappy wide jointed hips and a crappy wrist swivel and a whole bunch of other crap, crappy body in general, then this would be a really nice figure. But unfortunately, it's so there you go with that. This figure, I still think that as far as form goes, it's not what you want, but it does function properly. I would say that the only thing that doesn't really function too well are the double jointed elbows. I'd say that actually he's got better range of motion in his double jointed elbows than this Magneto does. It's due to these gauntlets getting in the way. And you can kind of push them up a little bit more to get a little bit extra, which is, I guess it's not that bad. Let's just do a little comparison here, side to side. Poor Magneto deserves better figures. Yeah, I know he does. So I guess if you manipulate the gauntlet a little bit more, you kind of shove it up further, because it's good. This is actually a movable piece. You will get a little bit extra range of motion, but it still leaves me a little bit wanting of some more range of motion. I'm going to be honest with you, even with that little bit extra room from the gauntlet moving up. I actually think it looks nicer with the gauntlet pushed up further. Furger on the hand. I'm your Furger. Your what? Your Furger. Oh, you mean your father. Sorry, Magneto's falling over here. But it looks really good on the 90s body. It definitely was the cure for... It definitely was the cure for the common issue, which was the head that he originally came with. Was way worse. I mean, that made the figure 10 times more worse. So I actually took this helmet from the original one that had a removable helmet, and oh no, it was non-removable. Never mind. The hell am I talking about? Actually, this is the helmet that it came with. That one, and I ripped the head out, and then I dremeled it down, and then I used the Marvel Legends original Toy Biz one with the removable helmet. I used that head for a while. So, but this unmasked head looks. Whoa, focus. This unmasked head looks so dang good that I'm just going to leave it like that for now until we get a proper Magneto body. And then maybe I'll swap between the two. But hopefully Magneto gets a better head sculpt from now on. Excuse me. As far as Magneto's articulation does go, his head can swivel full 360 rotation. His head can look back about that far, and it can look down. So pretty good range of motion even with this helmet on. His head can tilt side to side. And let's see, we got some jive. Oh, we got some jive turkeys up in here. So there you go with the jive turkeys. Arms go up about that far, and that's it. And you will hear a little bit of a click right there. So good range of motion in the yes, right, gobble gobble, in the arm. And then you can do a full 360 rotation. The shoulder pads and the cape kind of get in the way, but you can just kind of push that aside. He does have a bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow. He does have a wrist swivel, wrist hinge, and an ab crunch, which doesn't go back really at all, which that's unfortunate. Oh my god. Ugh! Ugh! Oh my god, what's going on? Magneto, what's going on with you? Oh, wow, Wow, this body is like frozen. There we go. Holy jeez. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. Okay, there we go. Now he can crunch back. That was like, holy Toledo, was that frozen. So he can crunch back. He can crunch forward. And he does swivel at the waist, full 360 rotation. He does do the splits pretty well. Not too bad. Legs go forward. Really good high leg range of motion. He could be a rocket, for crying out loud. Legs don't go back due to the sculpting of the rear end. He does have an upper thigh swivel, a double jointed knee. Boy, he is really tight. A boot swivel. He does point the heel. Really nice range of motion in the heel point and the toe point and the ankle pivot and the 2 peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that, you know what, this figure's not as bad as people are making it out to seem. I would say that, you know, I probably should have put Gladiator first as my least favorite because I already got him. I think the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive version is better, but we'll get to that in a second. So maybe I did him a little bit too soon. Maybe I passed judgment on you too soon there, Magneto. Unfortunately, you're not the costume that anyone wanted, but I still think you're a solid figure with good accessories. I don't think there's anyone else in this wave that came in an extra. Oh wait, oh no, I take that back. Multiple Man did. Came with 2 extra heads, but he also didn't come with any hands though. So he came with 2 sets of hands, some effects, and an extra head. Like how? That's pretty solid. And the Build-A-Figure piece, and he's $20. So that's not bad. It's really not bad. Almost makes you second guess that $30 Archangel coming out, huh? Oh boy. Let's start the rumblings in the chat already. I can't talk today. Take a drink of water. All right. So there's Magneto. If you guys have any more questions, you want to see anything else before I start the next character, let me know in the comments. I'll be watching. If you want me to show you anything else. Or actually, you know what? I'll give you a quick overview of just quick little look, because I'm 22 minutes into this review, and I've only shown one figure. The head is actually nicely sculpted. Looks pretty good. The cape and everything, the reds match going throughout the entire body, so he's pretty consistent. The one thing I did really want to point out before I move on to the next character is that, and you can't really see it too much on camera, but once you have this figure in hand, his body is pretty much red and black, except for the cape is a nice little like deep purple on the back. So that's a really nice touch. I like the little bit of a difference in the look for the cape, and then the inside red is a little bit of a darker red than the shoulder pads and the rest of the red going throughout. The gauntlets are nicely sculpted as well. And the boots are nicely sculpted also. So there's Magneto. I'm going to move on to the next one, but I wanted to point out the nicely done sculpted detail on him. As I am searching, I am cruising for bruising. You are hurting for a squirtin'? What? Hurting for a squirtin'? That ain't right. All right, moving on. Next, and I do actually want to say that this is probably my least favorite of the bunch. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now, and that's my story. I'm sticking to it on this guy. Like I said, we already got, here's the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which I think is the better figure to own, to be honest with you. But if you are on a tight budget, you don't want to spend a lot of money, and you only want one Gladiator, and you want him, you know, now, I guess, get the bang for your buck, because he's $20 and he's probably like $30 to $40. That's what I'm assuming. There's no need to spend $30 on him when you have another one to choose from. I like his paint deco better. I think it looks better. It looks a little bit more epic. This is extremely dumbed down to me. Now, you can agree to disagree, and I totally get that. That's totally fine. But I think the little bit of shininess in him, the metallic blues look really good on him. The continued gold that matches throughout his cape, his chest symbol, and his belt look really consistent, really good, crisp and clean. Like I said, the face has got a little bit of a glossy shine to it, which isn't overly done, but it does stand out a little bit. And I feel like, he's a cosmic character. He should stand out a little bit. He doesn't need to look dumbed down to me. As far as this one goes, the golds are a little bit inconsistent throughout the cape, the chest symbol, and, well, I'd say the chest symbol and the belt are the same, but the cape is a little bit different. This, I don't mind that this is actually a different color, because I feel like these little connectors right here for the cape should be different. It should be a different material altogether, like a metal almost. But and I'm just pointing things out. I'm not trying to nitpick. I'm not saying he's a horrible figure or anything like that. He's just probably, like I said, my least favorite of the bunch because I already own this one. That's all. He is on the Hyperion body mold, and we'll just get him out of the way. He is on the Hyperion body mold. A lot of people's least favorite body mold due to his anatomy issues. But he does serve his purpose as far as the size goes. I think he's a good size. A lot of figures have used this mold, and it's not, I guess, necessarily the worst thing in the world. There's a lot other worse Hasbro body molds that we've gotten in the past. But anyway, moving him up actually and looking at him. Now, I mean, I know there are different artist renderings of Gladiator, and I know that some people want to use the argument that this could be, this is more of the animated look. It's a little bit more dumbed down, and it looks better than the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Hey, and if that's what you think, then that's what you think, and I'm not really going to tell you you're wrong, because that's what you like. That's totally fine. But to me, personal preference, I just prefer the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive one. That's all. But as far as his articulation does go, his head can swivel, full 360 rotation, snap his neck, now he's dead. His head can look up all the way, and this way you can get him to a lot of flying poses. And then his head can look down nicely. And then we got, a whole lot of jive turkeys up in here. Okay, and then his arms, so we got jive turkeys. His arms go up, arms go down, full 360 there in the arm. His swivel at the bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, which is actually a really good range of motion, I'll say that. Swivel at the wrist, hinge joint, ab crunch, forward, and all the way back. The sculpting does not continue into the front, and it does continue onto the back. But, so there you go with that. Waist swivel, T-jointed hips, which go out, and they go forward. Upper thigh swivel. The leg doesn't really go back due to the sculpting of the rear end. It goes back like a little bit, but not too much. Not anything to really, shit your pants over. So then we have that. Double jointed knee. We have a boot swivel or calf swivel. Points the toe nice. Points the heel nice. Ankle pivot. 2 peg holes, all that jazz. That ass, though, you got a little bit of a flat ass. It's like Arnold ass. I don't know what you want to call it. That ass, though. That ass, though. This guy was having a real pain in the ass. This is the other problem that I had with this version over the San Diego one, was his cape was just a horrible pain in the rear end to get pegged into his back. That and the major gripe that I had with the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive one, and it's the same issue I have with this guy, is that the head doesn't want to sit at that sweet spot. There's like a weird, see how it's going back down when I do that? I want it to sit like right there, and then it just goes back down on its own. The San Diego Comic-Con exclusive had that issue, and now this guy does too. And if you force it back like that, now he's just looking up, and it doesn't work. And so when you get it there, I mean, maybe it'll stay. Nope, now he's looking down again. So he's constantly wanting to always look down a little bit, which is kind of a pain in the rear end, I'm going to be honest with you. As far as paint applications go, I would say that he's pretty, like I said, a little bit inconsistent here and there. I noticed some paint splotches, a little bit this, that. The paint's going to be a little bit more crisp and clean on the exclusive, but I don't really have too much of an issue with this. I think it still looks good, and for, like I said, for 20 bucks, it's not too bad. So save yourself some money and get this guy over the high-priced exclusive. Or maybe, in retrospect, it might actually drop the price of the exclusive now that the $20 version's out. So who knows? I don't know. So there is Gladiator. He came with... Oh, I already explained what he came with. He doesn't really come with anything besides the Build-A-Figure piece, the head of Apocalypse. And for some reason, he was the only one in store that I couldn't find. And then ended up finding him at a different Walgreens. So there's Gladiator. Nothing too special there. Here's the... actually, I didn't show the back of the cape. I wonder if there's any sort of difference in the... No, it's exactly the same. Okay. So there's Gladiator. Let me know if you guys want to see anything else, or if you think I missed anything. I will go grab the figure and bring it back. Okay. Now, this one's a tough one for me, because I really like this character a lot. She means a lot to me. She's my boo. She's my boo. But there is something like quality control issues with this girl, and I don't know what to do. But here's my next one, and it is Storm. Oh, man. You know what? I was actually really excited for this. I know a lot of people weren't. This was the Storm that I grew up with. It was not the 90s. I am an 80s, early 80s child. So I'm an old man now. Anyway, so this was the Storm I grew up with, and Stormy Daniels. That's right. Where's Trump, or Drumpf, whatever you want to call him. This is the Storm I grew up with. I've always, when I was a kid, I was like, oh man, that's like my superhero crush right there, Storm. So there's a little bit of information for you guys, maybe a little bit too much information, but I don't know how many of you actually gave a shit about that. But she doesn't really come with much. She comes with these two effects that we just saw with Magneto, and that's pretty cool. But and she does look the part. She definitely looks the part. A lot of people like her. I've seen them swap the head, and I've actually recently sold that Jubilee Wave Storm. But I did see people swapping the heads with the Jubilee Modern head on this body, and they tend to like that better. I don't know. I don't really think that it looks all that much better. I actually think that this looks pretty damn good. I like the little smirk she's got here. It looks really good. I like the little lightning bolt earrings. That's a nice little touch with that. And I think the mohawk looks really good. And as much as I do love the 90s Storm, I really like Mohawk Storm. So there you go with that. I like the whole punk rock look for her. I think it looks really good. Very cool. So as I was saying, I really wanted to like this figure, and she would have been way higher up the list. And not necessarily that this quality control issue gives her problems standing, because as you can see, I'm not touching her right now, and she's standing on her own. It's just, ugh. When you look at it, it's just like, oh, what's wrong with her leg? Did someone break her leg at the shin? Because when you look at this, the knee is facing that way, and then her foot is going the other way. It's like, oh, what is going on? So to make it even look worse, I'll bend the leg, and then it's like, ugh, someone broke her leg. And for some reason, excuse me, as I'm coughing in your ears, and for some reason, I put this thing in hot water. It's, it is painful to look at. I know. I put this thing in hot water. I could not get this joint to loosen up. I don't know if she's got a boot swivel. And some of the other reviews that I saw, they didn't know if she had a boot swivel. So I'm like, oh God, I want to be the dipshit that risks it, and then she snaps the leg off. But I haven't seen anyone else with this, remedy to this. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe it's just mine, but I know the others that reviewed this didn't have this leg issue here. It's just, oh, I just can't even look at the leg. It looks horrible. Like, there's her knee. Ugh, it just looks horrible. I mean, she can stand, at least, so that's a thing. But the other issue is, besides, I want to say maybe Dazzler, maybe a Cyclops from that 2-pack, the Dark Phoenix 2-pack. Who else is she going to go with? Really? I mean, we don't have many team members from that era, to be honest with you. Unless down the line, we're going to get more of these. Maybe in a box set or something. We'll get like a 80s X-Men box set. I don't know. Misa don't know. But anyway, I do like her costume. I think it looks really good. I like this kind of like leather sleeveless jacket. It's very Finn Balor / AJ Styles of her. I don't know what I'm going with there. I like the top on her. They finally decided to not give her small boobies, which is good. I guess brown suit Wolverine, but brown suit Wolverine is, I mean, brown suit Wolverine. He also had that in the 90s and Jim Lee. So the brown suit Wolverine is kind of like, you could put that suit in any X-Men team and it would pretty much fit. But yeah, even Jim Lee depicted Wolverine in the brown and tan. So I guess you could make the argument for that too. But the legs are actually a nicely sculpted black jean look with the pockets on the back. The belt, the two belts right here, very punk rock of her again, are loose. But you could, if it bothered you, you could just glue those down. No issue there. Like I said, the knee joints are looking good. I like the little seam here for the black jean look. I think the boots look good, other than the gross quality control issue there. Boots look pretty good. And overall, I really don't have an issue with this. I think it actually looks better than her modern look, to be honest with you. She does have the open-handed gesturing fingers, so you can take her effects if you wanted to, like this. And wrap them around, and these effects just kind of open up like a coil, kind of. You could just put those. Whoa, that's all jacked up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Like so, and then do this like so. Kind of wrap them around and maybe stick the fingers through the hole like that. So that looks. I mean, it's not the best pose ever. It literally took me 10 seconds to do that. So, but it looks good. It's nice that we're getting effects with her. Now here. Are you guys back? Can you see me? Let me know in the comments if you can see me. like I just got disconnected, so I don't know. You guys can see me or hear me. It says I'm still live, but I'm losing people. Okay, cool. All right, sorry about that. It was technical difficulty. It is raining here, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, cool. I am back. Yeah. Let me know if you guys would have preferred this look for her or her 80s Toy Biz, or I should say 90s, early 90s Toy Biz look, where she had the lightning bolt on her chest and it was like a light up feature. Obviously not having the light up feature, but that costume or this costume. But okay, as far as Storm's articulation does go, her head can swivel full 360 rotation. I just snapped her neck and now she's dead. Oh, you always prefer the long-haired Storm, Anthony? Head looks up, which is really good for flying poses. Head looks, whoa! That was, oh, she just snapped her own neck. She's dead. But she can look down really well. She definitely got some job turkeys. And her head can tilt side to side. Looks pretty good. Arms go up, down. Full 360 rotation in the arm. Single bend at the elbow, about 90 degrees. Wrist swivel, wrist hinge going back and forth. Same on the other side. We do have a diaphragm joint which crunches back, forward, side to side. We do have a swivel there as well. We do have T-jointed hips. Really good splits there. Really good. Legs go forward nicely. Back. Oh, her head is doing something weird. Doesn't really go back to the sculpting of that booty. Legs swivel. Double jointed knees. No. Now, I don't know. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I still can't get these. If these have a boot swivel, I don't know. But I don't want to risk it because, like I said earlier, I tried to use hot water. It wasn't working, so. Ankle, points to toe, points to heel, ankle pivot. It's not really the best ankle pivot. It's always been that issue with heels on a female figure, that they don't really necessarily have a true ankle pivot. It's kind of like a ankle pivot. Sorry, Storm, I'm knocking you all over the place over here. But she does look good. I will say that. She's not taking any shit. She's not taking any shit from anyone. I'm just kidding. All right, so there's Storm. So let's get Storm out of there. Good job, Storm. Good job. I do love Stormy. It's my boo. That's my girl. All right, up next. I do have to be objective here. Can't go by what I like. I got to go by what looks good here. All right. This is tough. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The final, the final 3, right? No. Final 4. My God. I literally have them right in front of me. Okay, so next up we will do Sabretooth. I have seen a few reviews where people are like, this is the best figure in the whole wave, and I'm like, what? Nah. You need to calm down, go sit down in the corner, have a Coke and a smile. No, he is not the best in the entire wave. Does he look good? Sure. Face sculpt looks good. The sculpted little piece right here, his mane, I'll just call it, looks good. Sure. The little, I guess you want to call them spikes or talons, look good. Sure. His paint deco looks good. Sure. Even the hands look better than the first, the more modern looking Sabretooth, which I'm looking for him right now, but I can't find him. Oh well. It looks better. It does. But when I take this guy right here, and I bring in old badass over here. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about that. I think this guy's the right size. Now, I've been told that it is ludicrous to think that Sabretooth should be something around this size. I've also been told, I don't know if people are mistaking this for some other figure, but when I suggested this in a couple other people's reviews, they said that, oh, it's this figure's ugly, it's too big, and it's got a mullet, and I'm like, wait, hold on a minute. It's ugly? I don't know too many Select figures that would be considered ugly. I have a lot of Marvel Select figures, and I enjoy all of them. And I wouldn't go as far to say as they're ugly. And they mean ugly not in the character sense. They mean ugly in the figure form sense. That's what they're saying. Now, obviously, artist renderings are different here. And he's a little bit of a duller sense than this guy. As you can see, the colors are much deeper, I want to say, more predominant. Where these are a little bit faded on here, but that's the artist rendering. Now, the main thing that they said was, oh, I don't like him because he's too big and he's got a mullet. And I'm like, do you guys know what the fuck a mullet is? Because I don't think you understand. Maybe you were born in the mid-90s, so you don't understand what a mullet is, so you didn't have a chance to see it because you're too young and you don't know what a mullet is. But back in my day, when mullets were running rampant all over the place, I never had a mullet, okay? But there's a lot of my friends that had mullets. So I know when I see a mullet. And let me just tell you, this is not a mullet. This is just short hair. A mullet would be short hair on top, long in the back, like Joe Dirt, okay? This is just short hair. I don't know where they're getting mullet from, so I don't know. Anyway, for me, I prefer still, to this day, the Marvel Select. What goes in my display? The Marvel Select. Is this a horrible figure? No, not by any means. It's not bad. It's just not the Marvel Select. That's all. That's my personal preference. I think Sabretooth should look around this size. He should look larger. If anything, they should have put this Sabretooth on the new Omega Red body, and that would have been the perfect size, I would say, for Sabretooth. I feel like Sabretooth has always been depicted larger. And I know a lot of people are going to use the excuse that, well, he's always depicted against Wolverine, so he always looks large. But not really. Sabretooth has always been a pretty big dude. Like, he's a pretty big guy. So, I don't know. But that's my little 2 cents on that. I mean, even if you compare, like, side of him, like, he's even got girth to him. And I know Selects always run a little bit larger. And for some characters, using Marvel Selects with Marvel Legends, it doesn't work. Like, the Marvel Select thing does not work. That's way too fucking big. That's like, he's like larger than the Hulk, that figure. It's just ridiculous. This fits right in. And then when you see him standing here with Magneto, I think it works. I think it works well. So, that's just my 2 cents. Anyway, getting back to the figure. Done with my little bullshit rant. Alright. He does look really good. I love the face sculpt on him. I think it looks really good. I don't have any issues that a lot of people had. Let me just bend his knees really quick so I can get him in closer. I don't really have any issues with the sculpted lines for his mouth too much. A lot of people did have some issues with the mouth. I don't have too many issues. There's a little bit of a line there on his left-hand side, but it's not too bad. I also heard a lot of complaints that the head does sit too high on the neck. I think it's more so the Hyperion body mold making the neck look taller than it is, than the head actually sitting on the neck. Because when you see it sitting on the neck there, I mean, it's pretty it's on there pretty well. I think it's a pretty good spot for it. I think if you go any lower, he's going to look like he's shrugging all the time. I don't know. So I don't have a problem with that. I think it's mostly the Hyperion body mold looking a little bit absurd. But his mane is actually removable, so you can take this off. It just pegs into the back. And here is his look without the mane on. But why would you not have the mane on him? So let's just put that back on, because that just looks weird. He looks like he's nude. No one wants to see a nude Sabretooth. No, thank you. Put that furry monster away. Anyway, here is Sabretooth. And like I said, he's pretty much just, painted other than his sculpted mane, which is removable. The head sculpt, like I said, is probably my favorite part of the figure. I think looks really good. I should add this, so I stand corrected. There's a little bit of extra sculpting here for the forearm spikes or talons, whatever you want to call them. So those look really good. I'm actually surprised that they ended up doing that for the sculpt. They did have to retool the arm a little bit. They did retool the hands a little bit also. I want to say that the claws on him, his nails, are a little bit longer than his modern counterpart. And they are. You just have to take my word for it, because I can't find my modern Wolverine, or modern Sabretooth right now. I don't know where the heck he is. I just had him yesterday. Where you go? I don't know. But Sabretooth looks pretty good. Like I said, if you don't have the Marvel Select one and you want to get this whole wave, and this is the only one you want to spend money on as far as the Sabretooth goes, then hey, more power to you. As far as Sabretooth's articulation does go, his head can swivel full 360 rotation. It does look... oops. There we go. Oops, peg that back in. Come on, you little dipshit. Get in there. I'm having problems getting the peg into the hole. This peg is too limp. God, I thought Gladiator was a pain in the ass. Anyway. Alright, we're just going to have to deal with that. The head can look up about that far. Can look down that far. He does have a tilt on the head. And we do have some jive turkeys up in here. And then, so there's that. Arms go up about that far, down. Full 360 rotation here. Bicep swivel. A double jointed elbow. So really good range of motion, the double jointed elbow. He does have a wrist swivel and a hinge joint. Same on both sides. He does have an ab crunch, which does go back, forward, and is a ratchet style crunch for this guy. Waist swivel. It does have T-jointed hips, which do the splits about that far. Legs go forward nicely. It does have an upper thigh swivel on both sides. A double jointed knee. A boot swivel. Points to heel, points to toe. Fun stuff. Ankle pivot, 2 peg holes, and there we go. So there is Sabretooth, and he is pissed. Ah, Wolverine. So there is Sabretooth. He is upset. He didn't get his catnip. He's pissed. There we go. So there you go. There is the tooth that has sabers in it. Okay. So, all right. Final 3. We're down to the final 3. 3. Ooh. These next 2. These next 2. Shaking my head at. I don't know which one. Alright, I guess we'll have to do this. Alright, the next one is going to be Multiple Man. The more and more I see reviews on this wave, the more and more I see people dissing the shit out of this figure. They're like, oh, it's not that great, and it's blah blah blah, and it's I don't really care about Multiple Man, and that's what a lot of people are saying. They're like, I don't care about the character. Stop basing your fucking opinions when there's factual information there in front of you. Damn it. Anyway, I hate it when people do that. Like, I get if you want to make a separate statement saying, I prefer this. Fine. But don't say the figure sucks because you don't care about the character. Ugh. It's frustrating to watch. Anyway. So, there's my little bitchy rant. Anyway, moving on to the figure itself, I think the reused coat from Ultimate Nick Fury actually works. Why, do you say? Because they actually used a different plastic for it. This is a much more pliable plastic. It works so much better than that old stiff shit that what was it, Punisher was using, and Ultimate Nick Fury, and Red Skull used. Ugh. We've all had nightmares about this coat. We all know about this coat. We all don't like this coat. But this one works. This is also the coat that's going to be coming with the upcoming Gambit figure that was just revealed at San Diego Comic-Con about a week ago. The arms are actually from the Netflix Punisher, which I actually don't mind because, and a lot of people were bitching about this too. Oh, single jointed elbows, boo. And Stride and I were just talking about this, and if a single jointed elbow gets you just the same range of motion or better than the double jointed elbow, it doesn't matter if you have double jointed elbows. If the single jointed elbow does its job, then it doesn't matter. Also, you can get his arms down on this version, where you could not get the arms down on the other double jointed elbowed jacketed versions, like Ultimate Nick Fury, Punisher, Red Skull, Spider-Man Noir. They were still using that old crap, and now you can get his arms down. Is this figure 100% perfect? No. It would have been nice, and I understand that they included 3 heads total with the figure, which we'll get to the heads in a second. But, I mean, come on. I mean, you gave him 2 fist hands. Why didn't we get at least one open hand? Oh, open ham? We're not at a deli here, Anthony. Open hand. Why couldn't we just get at least one gesturing open hand or 2 with this? And I think that would have really set it off as far as this figure being a lot better, because you would have had more variety for your duplicates with your extra heads. And if you buy multiples of these, which is what we're all going to do. I mean, I've already got 2, and I plan on getting at least 2 more. So, yeah. So that's pretty much my only gripe, is that he doesn't come with extra hands. Anything else, I don't really have an issue with, to be honest with you. He came with the right amount of heads. You want at least 3 for him. And he does come with an unmasked head, which I think looks really good. And this is actually, I heard some people asking, is that the same head as Peter Parker? It is not. It is a totally different sculpt, brand new sculpt. Is not a reused head. This is significant for only Jamie Madrox. And I think it looks good. And then here is the angry-faced Jamie, which I think this one's actually my favorite. He's like he's on the verge of being angry, but just really disappointed. Like, oh, you shit on the rug again. Oh, I'm just so disappointed in you. Oh, jeez. And then we have kind of, smirking. Hey, how you doing, lady? Hey, nice ass. How you doing? Hey. Oh, you do. Okay, anyway. But she definitely looks good. I know I'm an idiot. He definitely looks good. I like all the face sculpts. They all look really good. And just to pop this head off, and we'll pop the angry head on. That's what he looks like with it on. If we can focus here. There we go. Sorry about the unfocusing. I don't really have too much paint slop. There were some people complaining about paint slop with the X logo on his forehead. I don't really have that issue with mine. So there's that. And then here is the unmasked head. So if you wanted to have this kind of be your prime Jamie Madrox, and then you could have the two masked heads be the duplicates, you could totally do that. And that's probably what I'm going to do. I just think it looks really cool. I really like the suit. I'm so happy they didn't go with the green suit. I'm just, you know, it's a nice look, but I prefer my 90s look. And I'm pretty sure Hasbro's got the notation that we want a 90s X Factor. So I'm really hoping for maybe next year we get a 90s Jim Lee Havoc. But I've also noticed that not a lot of people gave a shit about the 90s X Factor, which I'm like, oh, what? Come on, man. What? Did you not read it? Or did you not? Are you just saying that? Because it's one thing if you didn't read it, but if you read it and don't give a shit about it, I don't know. But anyway, he looks really good as far as his articulation goes. Let me just pop his head. I'm going to put the head I want on. As this head looks really cool. Like that head. His head can do full 360 rotation. Like that. And then his head looks down nicely. It looks up. And then he doesn't really have a head tilt. And little jive turkey. Just a little. Just a little. Arms go up, down. Full 360 rotation there in the arm. A single bend at the elbow, but it gets further than 90 degrees there, ladies and gentlemen. So it's not that bad. He also does have a swivel at the elbow, so a swivel at the bicep joint and swivel at the elbow, and then a swivel at the wrist, and a hinge joint on both sides are the same. He does have an ab crunch, which crunches forward, and it can crunch back. It's just a little bit hindered due to the coat. Waist swivel, T-jointed hips. Legs go forward. Legs don't, well, they actually do go back a little bit. Just a little bit. Upper thigh swivel. Does have a double jointed knee. Calf swivel. Points the toe nicely. Points the heel nicely. Ankle pivot. 2 peg holes. And he is on the Bucky Cap body mold. So there is that. That is Jamie Madrox. That is this was actually one of the figures I was looking forward to the most because I am an X Factor fan, but that's not why he's one of my favorites. I think he's one of the best in the wave. I guess I'd say he's kind of maybe on par with Sabretooth. You know, you can agree to disagree. But I like the extra heads. I think he's quality. He came with extra heads, where Sabretooth didn't come with shit, really, besides the Hyperion body mold. And I like the Bucky Cat body mold better than the Hyperion body mold, to be honest with you. I think it looks a lot better. You can use it with a lot more. You get some variety out of it. As far as the paint applications go on him, everything's pretty crisp and clean on him, even the body. I did see a lot of people having issues with some paint bleeding through and stuff like that. I don't really have too much of an issue on mine. Mine looks pretty well done. But you could use the excuse that maybe get the best version, right? Get the most crisp and clean version of Jamie, and then use that as your Jamie Madrox or Multiple Man Prime, and then you could use the duplicates with all the, you know, the not as good paint apps, you know, because a copy is always going to be less than the original. So anyway, but there's Jamie Madrox. I really like it. I think I really like the extra heads, and he also comes with the Build-A-Figure piece. So solid coat, really good, nice pliable plastic there. Solid figure overall, and it's a nice added touch, and I'm glad they decided to go with the 90s look. Maybe down the line we'll get the green look. Who knows? All right, so next up, here she is to save the day. There she is, finally in my collection. There is Psylocke. And here are all of her accessories in all of her glory. She does come with a Build-A-Figure piece, as I've explained that numerous times. Not going to explain it again. But there you go. With Psylocke, as she comes with whore? Oh, you are not a whore. Sorry, I did not mean to call you that. I need to take a drink of water and slap myself. Yeah, there's Psylocke. She looks really good. Really pleased with how this turned out. You can pop this her psychic look or effect or whatever the hell you want to call it on her head right there. And then she does have her blade right there, her sword right here, and it does come with an effect that can go over the sword that we're actually going to see with the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, Walgreens exclusive, two exclusives, too many exclusives. The Walgreens upcoming exclusive of Magic, she's going to include this, not the sword, but the effect. But here she is with all of her effects on. I think it looks really good. I think they did a really nice job. They tried. They definitely are trying here. They didn't have to give her all of this, and they did. Now, I still think that she should have been on the Black Cat body mold, maybe with some longer legs and some thicker thighs, but, you know, at least it's not on the teen body. This is on that kind of like, I think it shares the same body. I want to say, I know this is a new body mold. I think it shares the same body as Elektra, maybe? I'm guessing here, because I don't have Elektra, but, oh, I just missed that comment, sorry. But all of her stuff is removable. You can take it off. It just, like her knife there, and then her sword, and then here she is, basic here. This is the black-haired version, is not the purple-haired version. I do have to say this, that her legs, I feel like her legs are the right length. They're just not the right width. You know, I mean, come on, her nickname was Thunder Thighs, for crying out loud, you know? I do like this little red sash that she's got going on here. That looks really nice. Overall, I think she's a solid figure, and she's definitely one of my favorites in this wave. I think she's one of the best to get. All of the paint applications are pretty much fluid throughout, pretty much consistent. The booty looks good. They just had to do that, didn't they? They just had to do it. They had to do it, the sons of bitches. As far as Psylocke's head, Psylocke's head. As far as Psylocke's articulation does go, her head can swivel, it can look down, and it can't really look up due to the sculpting of the long hair, but that's okay, no big deal. She can tilt a little bit. She does have some jive turkeys up in here. There we go. Jive turkeys are the best. Down, or up, I said down, up, down, full 360, single bend at the elbow, which is further than 90 degrees. That's very nice. Wrist hinge, which is same on both sides, and a swivel. We do have a diaphragm joint, which is, ooh, holy shit, this is stiff. That's what she said. How you doing? But there's a tilt side to side. Not the best range of motion here. She is extremely stiff in her waist, though, or her diaphragm joint. It can swivel. Like I said, doesn't really crunch back further than that. Crunches forward about that much. And then she does do the splits. Really pretty decent splits. Not the best, but pretty decent. Both legs go forward. And not really back due to the sculpting of the rear end. Then we have an upper thigh swivel. We have a double jointed knee. Points of toe, points of heel, ankle pivot, 2 peg holes, and that is Psylocke. So Psylocke technically comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including this effect that you can take off the sword. That's 5. 5 accessories and the figure itself and a Build-A-Figure. So we're getting some pretty decent accessories with this wave. And it's pretty nice that she can hold everything. If you put the this on her face, and then her knife right here, and then her sword, and she can hold everything, which is great. That's definitely an added bonus for this figure. And a much needed and wanted character for our X-Men display. I mean, really, when you think about it, We're missing Jubilee, we're missing Beast, we're missing Storm from the 90s, and I guess you could go with Dazzler too. We didn't get the proper Dazzler that I was hoping for. I guess if you really wanted to say Colossus, but I'm happy with my Marvel Select Colossus, so I'm not going to really bitch and moan about that at all. And we do need an updated, they got to redo Jean Grey. The 90s Jean Grey is just, that one that we got is god awful. But I will do a little comparison if I still have her out. The old one. Are you out, woman? Where are you? Where did you go? Come out, wherever you are. I'm going to put her away. Yep, I think I put her away. Oh, well. Well, I did. Oh, wait, here she is. Hey. So here we go. Here's the comparison with the old Toy Biz one. So, as you can see, this is a much needed upgrade. Just looking at the face sculpts here, let me just bring them in a little closer. Obviously, she does have the purple hair, which actually, I want to say this, as far as a lot of the Toy Biz face sculpts for the females go, it's not the worst. Like, we've seen Rogue from Toy Biz, and holy Toledo, was that a bad female face sculpt right there. It just looks like it needed an update. That's all. She needed the update. She got it. I think the face sculpt on the new one looks much better. She does look Asian, thank God. And I'm pretty pleased with it. I think it looks really good. And I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for that purple-haired variant. Because I do like the purple hair like this one does have. But, you know, Toy Biz didn't do a horrible job on that figure. It just, just needed an update. All right, so there's Psylocke. And last, I think you guys all know what's going on here. Yeah. Okay, gets the spotlight again. Fucking Wolverine. So there's Wolverine. I'm not going to get too much into it. I'm going to kind of coast through this one. He is my favorite of the bunch. I think he's the most... I guess I want to say he is the most well done of them all. Probably one of the most wanted out of the whole bunch that we did get. Everyone wanted that Tiger Stripe Wolverine. Ever since we got the brown suited version, we wanted this version. Now, the only gripe that I really have with it is I'm not digging the head sculpt. I'm not really feeling this. I don't know. The head, I've been trying to get these to spread out. I mean, once you get them spread out, they look proper. Like right around there. That's like perfect for me. I could mess with it some more. I don't know. I'm just not feeling the face sculpt. There's a time and a place for that face sculpt, and it's just not right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this real quick. Pop that off. And we're going to pop this on. And I just think it looks so much better. It's like, that's better. It does look better. It does match, so you can go that route. This is actually the head from the Vintage Collection. No, I shouldn't say Vintage Collection, but the Vintage Marvel Legend or Retro Series, whatever you want to call it, head. And then I also will go one further. And there we go. And there's the unmasked head, which I think also looks really good on him. It's got a nice 5 o'clock shadow there. I think it's well painted. I think it looks good. And this is actually the one I'm going to be rolling with for now, because once I get Storm and I get a couple others like a new Beast eventually and the Jubilee, I plan on doing a little setup with them, specific setup with them. So, but in that specific photo, he did have an unmasked look for him. But anyway, talking about the figure itself, let me get the proper head back on him, because I don't want to confuse anyone that's just watching this review. So Wolverine does come with this head. Like I said, it's not a horrible head. It's just not what I prefer, I guess. That's the one gripe I have with it. As far as his articulation does go, the head can swivel full 360 rotation. Are you doing a vid on SDCC thoughts? You can actually, I actually did a video with Strident, so you can go check that out. He hasn't uploaded it yet, but you know, we're still kind of working on it. But I am doing a collaborative video with him on his channel, so you can go check that out if you want to. That's what I think Zorpox was just asking. But the head does swivel full 360 rotation. Head can look up, looks down nicely. A little bit of a pivot side to side. And we got some jaws turkeys up in here. And then the arms go up. About that. Ooh, that's it? Oh, I'm surprised. Does the other side go up further? Nope. That's about it. And then full 360 rotation. He also does have articulation in the elbow pads here, or shoulder pads here. So you can move those out of the way or wherever you need to articulate him properly. He does have a bicep swivel, and he does have a butterfly joint, which is very nicely done. Double jointed elbows, which are kind of a single jointed elbow due to the sculpting of that bicep, but if you force it and then you bend it, see, it's still kind of like a, I guess kind of like a technically a double jointed elbow, but I don't know. A wrist swivel there, a bend at the wrist as well, hinge joint there. It does have an ab crunch, which really crunches. Holy shit, look at that. And then it crunches back. The sculpting does continue on the front and the back. Waist swivel, T-jointed hips, which splits are pretty good. Legs go forward. And he's just a little guy. Look at those little legs. Upper thigh swivel. A double jointed knee. Points to heel, points to toe. Ankle pivot. And I even like the little treads that they decided to paint on the bottom too. That's a nice touch. So there is Wolverine. Like I said, he's definitely my favorite of the wave. I'm pretty sure it would be a lot of other people's favorite as well. And he does come with sculpted hair on his bicep and his forearm, but they didn't paint it, which I find kind of like redundant. Why would you sculpt it but not paint it? I don't quite understand that. But it's there. I don't know. Maybe they had plans to, and they were just like, oh, we forgot. Oh, we forgot our homework today. He does come with, I have him in the declawed hands, and I'm going to put his clawed hands on now. Which, the clawed hand actually didn't come too warped in package. So I didn't really have too much of an issue with Wolverine. Hold on a minute. Let me manipulate this a little bit. There we go. Wolverine looking good. Wolverine's looking good. He's pissed. He's pissed. He's pissed. He's pissed. But he looks good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm glad he came with these declawed hands. That's nice. Nice little touch. You don't have to take these claws out. And technically, you can still take those claws out. I wouldn't suggest that you do because it comes with the hands. I would see it as kind of a pointless thing to do. But, yeah, definitely 2 thumbs up for this guy. I'd say 2 thumbs up for Multiple Man. Let me just kind of bring everybody back in here. Let's do that. We'll bring everyone. Oh, wait, we got to wait a minute. We can't bring everyone back in yet because we got to do the BAF. The BAF, the BAF, the BAF, BAF, the BAF, the BAF, the BAF, the BAF, the BAF, the BAF. All right. So here we go. Let's build Apocalypse. We got right legs connected to the right joint, left legs connected to the left joint. The left arm's connected to the shoulder joint. Right arm's connected to the right arm shoulder joint thing. And we got some tubes. Some tubes. Not pubes, but tubes. Don't want any pubes. Just want Apocalypse's tubes. There we go with that. And there's the head. And he looks good. How about that? Well, would you just look at that? Would you look at it? Just look at it. And let me just stand up Wolverine, get him out of his pose here. And you can really see how teeny Wolverine is. He's so teeny, he's weeny. He's teeny and he's a weenie. Oh, Dad, I'm so little. And we'll bring in Hyperion body mold here. I am Hyperion body mold man. I am Sabretooth Hyperion body mold man. And we'll bring in the Bucky Cat body mold. I should go this way, right? Whee! So there you go. And then we'll bring in Psylocke. Why the hell not? Right? So there you go. I think he's a good size. A lot of people complain that he's a little bit too small. I don't necessarily think he's small. He's not the size of the Build-A-Figure from Toy Biz, which I think is a good thing, because that was really the only Apocalypse that I had. I didn't like that short, stubby one that came from Toy Biz, the single-carded release one. I wasn't a really big fan of that one. It looked, I don't know, I didn't like the proportions, but this looks awesome. I really am. I'm happy with this. I think he's a really good size. We'll do a couple comparisons with some Build-A-Figures before I let you guys go. Guys and gals go. Let's just turn him sideways here. Alright, here we go. We got the big boy here. We got Mr. Call Obsidian. I just painted his toenails. Yay! But Call Obsidian is huge. Holy cow. Look at the size of him. So he is huge compared to Call Obsidian dwarfs Apocalypse. So we'll get, or Black Dwarf, excuse me. I don't want to, someone in the comments will be like, his name is Black Dwarf, you idiot! Alright, here is Hulk. And, stupid. I want to say Hulk's a little bit taller than him, but not by much. And it's mostly due to his shit articulation. Good lord. So, Hulk's a little bit taller, not by much. And then we have one of my favorite Build-A-Figures. We have Absorbing Man. And he is smaller, so that's good. That's a good one. And that's, we'll get Sassy. Sassafras, bring your foolishness in here, Sassy. And Sassafras, Sasquatch is taller than Apocalypse, which I think Sassafras should be. But Apocalypse can fluctuate in size, so that's why you keep the Toy Biz Build-A-Figure around. So you have his, smaller version of him, normal version of him, Toy Biz version of him, and it's massive. It's huge. Definitely go get it. Sassafras. Okay. Anyway, but I'm starting to lose my voice here. So, talking about the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure wave, I'm pretty happy with it. I would definitely recommend it. As much as I may have nitpicked a few things here and there about some of the figures in the wave, I think it's a great wave. I definitely think it's worth picking up the entire wave and the Build-A-Figure. If you didn't really care about Gladiator too much and you wanted to sell him off, maybe you could go ahead and do that. There's always that option. If you didn't want Storm, you could, like I said, with Gladiator, you could always sell her off too. Hopefully you guys don't get the same issue that I did with mine. As far as Magneto goes, I don't think he's as bad as people are saying he is. Nothing a little bit of glue can't fix. and as far as the cape goes. But I don't think he's necessarily a horrible figure. I wouldn't say that. I think to categorize him as a bad figure is kind of a little bit ignorant, I would say, especially if you're. And I'm back. Okay. So, as I was finishing there, I got disconnected again for some reason, but at least it kept recording again. So sorry for the interruption. I wouldn't say Magneto's he's not a bad figure. He's just not the figure that everyone really wanted. Everyone really wanted an updated version of this guy. So, there's that. Anyway, I think it's a solid wave. I definitely give this whole wave a 2 thumbs up, and give my full recommendation to go pick it up. I really like the blues on Apocalypse. I like the tubing is actually doesn't get in the way too much when you lift his arms up and kind of play with him. If you wanted them to never fall out, you could just super glue them into the peg holes, and then they'll never come out. You won't have to worry about it, and you can pose him with his tubes in. There are some reused pieces, like the hands. I want to say maybe some of the forearms are... Nope, not the forearms, but the hands are reused from this guy right here, Mr. Ironmonger. There's not too many pieces. I really like the metallic blues on him. It's kind of like almost like a deep midnight blue on him. And I'm speaking only about Apocalypse. The shoulder pads look really good. There's a little bit of marbleization in the blues there. The face sculpt looks beautiful, though. I really love this face sculpt on Apocalypse. I think the A looks really nice on him. Some people were complaining that the A shouldn't be there. It should be on his chest. I don't really give a shit. I like the A on his belt. I think it looks better. It's better for presentation-wise, as far as what I'm concerned. If you like the A on his chest, good for you. Thumbs up for you. But for me, I like where it is. Overall, I think this figure is a home run. I think the wave's a home run, even though we did get one that was a re-release. And usually, sometimes we'll get multiple figures that are re-released or reused, rehashed, whatever you want to call it. But I'm pretty happy with the whole wave. I hope you guys enjoyed this long-ass review. I went over an hour for you guys and gals, and I'm losing my voice, so I'm going to go drink some water. And give me a thumbs up. That helps me a lot. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. If you didn't like the video, give me a thumbs down and tell me how I can improve my content. That always helps. And yeah, you guys are awesome. Thanks so much. If you were with me from start to finish, you are an absolute beast. Love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Go check out my Cobra Convergence 1990s G.I. Joe Cobra Piranha video review, and the 25th anniversary eel review that I just did yesterday. If you are remotely a G.I. Joe fan, thank you, Anthony. Have a good night. Thank you. Guys, on the flip side.